The movie starts at a quarantine checkpoint, where a truck is stopped and sprayed with heavy disinfectant. The driver casually asks why everything looks so strict.
요 앞에 그 바이오 단지에서 뭐가 찔끔 샜다고 이러네. 아이고 걱정 끌어내고 얼른 들어가서 일 보셔요. 예?
Feeling relieved, the driver shrugs it off and continues his journey. A few minutes later, his phone rings and distracts him, and he suddenly runs over a deer on the road. He steps out of the truck, looks at the dead animal with regret, and then gets back inside to continue driving. Meanwhile, the story shifts to Sok-woo, a busy fund manager who spends most of his time at work. Because of his work-focused life, his wife divorces him, and now he struggles to maintain a strong relationship with his daughter, Soo-an. The next day is Soo-an's birthday, so Sok-woo comes home with a gift for her. His mother is also at home. When Sok-woo gives Soo-an the gift, she does not look happy because he has already given her the same gift before. Sok-woo does not even remember this, which makes him feel embarrassed.
다른 거 원하는 거 있으면 말해봐.
부산 엄마한테 가고 싶어요.
She has wanted this for a long time, but Sok-woo's work never allows it. This time, on her birthday, he finally agrees. Later, Sok-woo's mother shows him a video from Soo-an's school function and tells him that Soo-an felt sad because he did not attend. In the video, Soo-an forgets her song in the middle, which makes Sok-woo realize how absent he has been. After seeing this, he decides to take Soo-an to Busan to meet her mother. Soon after, Sok-woo and Soo-an board the train going to Busan. Many other passengers are also on the train. A baseball team is traveling together, along with their cheerleader Jin-hee, who sits beside her boyfriend, Young-guk. Two elderly sisters are also traveling together. Sang-hwa is on the train with his pregnant wife, Sung-kyung. At the same time, a wounded girl secretly boards the train without anyone noticing. As the train starts moving, it becomes clear that the girl is infected with a dangerous virus. Meanwhile, a homeless man hides in the washroom, repeatedly saying that everyone is dead, but no one listens to him.
죄송하지만 티켓 좀 확인하겠습니다. 네?
At that moment, Soo-an gets up and walks toward the washroom. Suddenly, the infected girl collapses on the floor. A train attendant notices her and goes to help, but the girl, now fully turned into a zombie, attacks and bites her. Soon after, the attendant also turns into a zombie and attacks the baseball players. Chaos spreads through the compartment, and people start running toward other sections of the train. Sok-woo wakes up and realizes that Soo-an is no longer beside him. He immediately moves forward to search for her. While this is happening, passengers notice riots and violence outside the train, but they still do not understand that a zombie outbreak has begun. As Sok-woo searches, he comes face to face with people who have already turned into zombies. Meanwhile, Soo-an comes out of the washroom and sees the terrifying scene in front of her. Without wasting time, Sok-woo grabs his daughter and runs back to their compartment, quickly shutting the door behind them. Just then, Sang-hwa arrives with his wife, running for their lives. Sok-woo opens the door and lets them in, protecting them as well. Inside the compartment, everyone slowly realizes that the people outside have fully turned into zombies. At that moment, Sang-hwa's wife, Sung-kyung, quickly sticks newspapers onto the windows using water. Because of this, the zombies can no longer see inside, and they slowly become calm. Meanwhile, fear spreads among the passengers as they sit quietly, trying to understand what is happening. Soon after, the train driver announces that due to accidents ahead, the train will not stop at the next station, and everyone must remain seated. Frustrated, one man argues through the intercom and tells the driver that people in the compartment behind have turned into zombies and are killing each other, so the train must stop immediately. However, the driver explains that he has received strict orders from the control room and cannot stop the train. After hearing this, everyone slowly returns to their seats. Just then, Sok-woo receives a call from his mother. During the call, he realizes that she has been bitten by a zombie. This deeply shocks him and leaves him heartbroken. Meanwhile, through the moving train windows, everyone sees that the entire city has fallen into chaos. People have turned into zombies, buildings are being destroyed, and leaders are only seen giving speeches on television while innocent people continue to die. Soon after, the driver announces that the train will stop at Daejeon Station, where the military has already arrived and will rescue everyone. Hearing this, Sok-woo calls one of his colleagues to confirm whether Daejeon Station is truly safe. His colleague tells him that the army is indeed there, but all passengers will be taken directly to a quarantine camp once they get off the train. He advises Sok-woo to escape using another route instead, where one of his men will help him. Sok-woo does not realize that the homeless man overhears this entire conversation. After some time, the train reaches Daejeon Station, and everyone notices that the station is empty. Nervously, the passengers step down onto the platform. At that point, a selfish man warns the train captain that the place feels dangerous and insists that they should go straight to Busan. However, the captain refuses, saying he is not allowed to change the route. The man then claims that the virus has already spread here as well and asks about the military. The captain responds that the military must be somewhere nearby. As everyone begins moving forward, Sok-woo, knowing about the quarantine camp, quietly separates from the group and takes another route. The homeless man suddenly appears in front of him and asks to go with them. Sok-woo tells his daughter to stay back while he goes ahead to check the area. Moments later, the homeless man spots a soldier standing nearby and rushes toward him. But suddenly, many zombies appear and attack the soldier. At the same time, Sang-hwa realizes that the military officers have already been bitten and have turned into zombies as well. Without warning, the zombies attack all the passengers, causing everyone to panic and run back toward the train. Sok-woo rushes back to protect Suan, and a zombie nearly attacks her, but Sang-hwa steps in and fights the zombie with his bare hands. Meanwhile, Sung-kyung safely takes Suan away. On the other side, a zombie attacks Sok-woo, but he manages to stop it. Shortly after, the baseball players reach another compartment, call everyone inside, and shut the door. Sang-hwa notices that Sok-woo is still outside and urgently calls him over. Together, they try to close the gate, but many zombies begin crashing against it. Eventually, the remaining passengers manage to escape back toward the train, while more zombies continue pouring into the station. In the chaos, the two elderly sisters get separated. Jin-hee and a train attendant manage to save one sister and pull her into their compartment, while the other sister is taken into a different compartment by Sok-woo and Sang-hwa. The homeless man and the selfish man also enter the same compartment with them. Inside the compartment, the selfish man demands that the attendant tell the captain to leave the station immediately. Jin-hee pleads with him, saying that her friends are still trapped outside. However, the man ignores her and coldly insists that if they stay any longer, everyone will be killed. Hearing the warning, the train attendant informs the captain that they must leave the station immediately. The captain starts moving the train forward. Meanwhile, Sok-woo, Sang-hwa, and the others continue holding the gate and trying to stop the zombies, but the pressure becomes too strong, and the gate begins to break. Realizing there is no time left, everyone runs back toward the train as the zombies chase them closely. After a tense struggle, Sok-woo, Sang-hwa, and Young-guk manage to fight their way through and enter a compartment, barely surviving the attack. At the same time, the captain contacts the control room and asks whether Busan is safe. He is told that Busan is still secure, so he immediately sets the train on course toward Busan. On the other side of the train, Sung-kyung, Suan, and the others realize that zombies are also present in their compartment. Fearing for their lives, they rush toward the washroom to hide. They enter the washroom and try to shut the door, but the zombies push from the other side, trying to break in. Meanwhile, Young-guk calls his girlfriend, Jin-hee, and tells her that he is alive and has made it back onto the train. At the same time, Sang-hwa tries to call his wife, but Suan answers instead. She tells him that they are trapped in compartment number 13, hiding in the washroom, and that zombies are trying to get inside. After hearing this, Sok-woo, Sang-hwa, and Young-guk decide to move forward on the train to rescue them. However, they know that the compartments ahead are filled with zombies, and they worry about how they will make it back alive. At that moment, Young-guk explains that he has spoken to Jin-hee and that the surviving passengers are safely gathered in compartment number 15. Using this information, the three men begin moving forward, carefully fighting their way through the zombie-filled compartments. In one compartment, they encounter some of Young-guk's friends who have already turned into zombies. Young-guk hesitates, unable to harm them. So Seok-woo and Sang-hwa step in and stop them. Just then, the train enters a tunnel, and the compartment goes completely dark. In the darkness, the zombies lose their ability to see clearly. A bag falls to the floor, and balls roll across the compartment, drawing the zombies toward the sound. Seok-woo realizes that the zombies cannot see in the dark and are guided by noise. Taking advantage of this, the three men quietly move into the next compartment. When the train exits the tunnel, Seok-woo notices more zombies ahead. He takes Sang-hwa's phone, and as the train enters another tunnel, they move inside the compartment. Seok-woo throws the phone far away and calls it, and the ringing sound pulls the zombies toward it. Meanwhile, Sang-hwa reaches the washroom and opens the door. Sung-kyung is overjoyed to see that her husband is alive. As the train comes out of the tunnel, they escape the area and hide once again in another washroom. Afterward, Seok-woo checks the route map on his phone and realizes that the next tunnel will arrive in 2 minutes. If they miss this chance, the next tunnel will be very far away. Knowing this, they prepare themselves to move again. Young-guk messages Jin-hee and informs her of the plan. Jin-hee tells the people in her compartment that her friends are on the way and that they will need to open the door for them. However, the selfish man strongly objects and insists that the door must stay closed because any one of them could be infected. He warns that opening the door could turn everyone into zombies. And sadly, most people listen to him. Meanwhile, one of the elderly sisters sits quietly in grief, believing that her sister has already turned into a zombie. In reality, her sister is still alive and is with Seok-woo and the others. As the train enters another tunnel, Seok-woo and the group begin moving toward the next compartment. Seok-woo picks up nearby objects and throws them to the other side, distracting the zombies with sound. The zombies rush toward the noise, allowing the group to move forward safely. However, in the chaos, one man falls behind, putting his life in danger. As the train comes out of the tunnel, everyone immediately hides, trying to stay out of the zombies' sight. Meanwhile, Seok-woo and the homeless man find themselves trapped in the rear compartment. Seok-woo tells the man to run, and together they dash toward the front compartment. Sang-hwa quickly closes the door behind them, but the zombies slam against it, trying to break through. On the other side, the passengers refuse to open their doors. At that point, Seok-woo goes back to help Sang-hwa, while Young-guk begins breaking down the door from the other side. Seok-woo fights off the zombies, preventing them from getting inside. Suddenly, a zombie bites Sang-hwa. Just then, Young-guk manages to break open the door, and everyone rushes forward. The homeless man closes another door to block the zombies, and the others help him hold it shut. At that moment, one of the elderly sisters sees that her sister is still alive with Seok-woo's group and runs forward to help. Jin-hee also stops the people and insists that they let the trapped passengers in. Meanwhile, Soo-an becomes terrified by the chaos and starts crying. Sung-kyung moves forward to help her husband, but Sang-hwa tells her to stay back. Seeing that he has been bitten, Sung-kyung breaks down in tears, fearing that Sang-hwa will turn into a zombie. Sang-hwa tells Seok-woo that he will hold off the zombies and orders him to take his wife and daughter forward. Seok-woo moves ahead with Soo-an and Sung-kyung as Sang-hwa bravely fights the approaching zombies. But soon, he begins turning into one. At that moment, Seok-woo teams up with Young-guk to open the door, allowing the rest of the group to enter safely. Tragically, one of the elderly sisters is left behind, and the zombies catch and bite her. Seok-woo quickly shuts the door, stopping the zombies from entering further. Once they are safe, Seok-woo angrily punches the selfish man, blaming him and saying that if he had not blocked the door, Sang-hwa and the old woman would have survived. Sung-jung questions Seok-woo's actions, but the man defends himself, claiming that Seok-woo might also be infected and that they cannot take any risks. The train attendant supports him, insisting that anyone who has just arrived must move to the front compartment. As a result, Seok-woo heads toward the front compartment with Soo-an and Sung-jung, accompanied by the homeless man, Young-guk, and Jin-hee. Afterward, the passengers in the rear compartment completely shut the door, cutting off all access to Seok-woo and the others. Meanwhile, the remaining elderly sister sees her sibling, now turned into a zombie, and in a mix of grief and anger, she opens the door. Zombies pour into the compartment and attack everyone inside, turning them into zombies one by one. The selfish man hides in the washroom with the attendant, which allows him to survive, while Seok-woo and his group remain safe in the next compartment. At that point, the captain tries to contact the control room but cannot get through. Soo-an is terrified, her birthday completely overshadowed by fear, but Seok-woo comforts her and promises that he will get her to her mother. Suddenly, the train comes to a halt because two trains have collided on the track ahead. The captain announces that everyone still alive must get off and board another train, assuring them that he will meet them there. Soon after, the passengers leave the train cautiously, and the captain brings a new train onto the track, carefully positioning it so they can continue their journey. Meanwhile, the selfish man hears the captain's announcement, but when he looks outside, he sees that zombies are still everywhere. Panicking to save himself, he forcefully pushes the train attendant, causing the zombies to bite him, and then escapes. On the other side, Seok-woo, Sung-kyung, Soo-an, Young-guk, Jin-hee, and the homeless man move forward carefully, searching for a safe way through, but they struggle to find a clear path. At that moment, the captain notices a burning train speeding toward them. The two trains collide with a massive impact, but luckily, Seok-woo and the others remain unharmed. Young-guk and Jin-hee survive on one side, while Seok-woo, Soo-an, Sung-kyung, Young-guk, and the homeless man end up trapped between the two trains. Meanwhile, Young-guk enters a train with Jin-hee and tries to open the door to escape, but it is stuck. He begins smashing it, and the glass nearly shatters. Suddenly, the selfish man comes running, chased by a zombie, and in a cruel act, he pushes Jin-hee toward the zombie. The zombie bites her, and Young-guk rushes to save her. The selfish man then breaks the glass and escapes, leaving chaos behind. Unfortunately, Jin-hee has already been bitten, and she quickly turns into a zombie, immediately attacking and biting Young-guk. Meanwhile, the selfish man continues running toward the captain, still chased by zombies. Suddenly, his leg twists and he falls to the ground. When the captain comes to help him, the selfish man uses the captain as bait to save himself from the zombies. After that, he gets up and runs back toward the train. On the other side, Seok-woo and the others are trapped between the two trains. Seok-woo spots a narrow path and quickly moves through it, calling Soo-an and Sung-kyung to follow him. Just as they are about to escape, debris falls and blocks the path. At the same time, zombies begin smashing the windows to reach them. One of the window panes shatters, and several zombies manage to get close. The homeless man, still with them, sacrifices himself to hold the zombies back. Using this moment, Seok-woo clears the obstruction and leads Soo-an and Sung-kyung safely through, finally getting them out of danger. Just then, all the windows shatter and zombies pour into the train, immediately attacking and killing the homeless man. The zombies then start chasing Seok-woo, Soo-an, and Sung-kyung. They run desperately and climb onto a moving train heading toward Busan. Some zombies grab onto the train, while others latch onto it, forming a chain that slows the train down. At that moment, Seok-woo strikes the zombies' hands, breaking their grip and finally separating them from the train. For a brief moment, they are safe. Soon after, instead of the captain, Seok-woo comes face to face with the selfish man, who has been bitten and is beginning to turn into a zombie. In a short moment of clarity, the man begs Seok-woo not to harm him and says that his mother is waiting for him at home. He gives Seok-woo his address and asks him to take him there. However, the man soon fully transforms into a zombie and attacks Seok-woo. During the struggle, the man bites Seok-woo's hand. Thinking quickly, Seok-woo ties himself with a chain and throws the man off the train. Because of the chain, Seok-woo does not fall, but he realizes that he has been bitten and will soon turn into a zombie. Knowing his time is short, Seok-woo takes Soo-an and Sung-kyung to the captain's cabin and shows them how to operate the brake lever. He instructs them to stop the train when it reaches Busan. Heartbroken, Soo-an cries and begs her father not to leave her. Seok-woo gently comforts her and then bravely steps outside. Soon, Seok-woo begins transforming into a zombie and jumps off the train, sacrificing himself to protect them. After some time, Soo-an and Sung-kyung regain their composure. When the train reaches Busan, they stop it and begin walking toward the other side of the tunnel. On the other side, a group of military officers sees them approaching and mistakes them for zombies. One officer is about to fire, but he suddenly hears Soo-an singing softly, remembering her father. The soldiers realize that Soo-an and Sung-kyung are human and unharmed. They lower their weapons, approach them, and guide them to safety. In the end, Soo-an and Seung-jung survive, and the story comes to a close. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out and keeps us motivated to bring you more videos. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.